stay to the end of this recording, and I'm going to be showing you some pictures that have already started coming out on Twitter on the COVID-19 vaccine arriving in Nigeria today. I think it's already in the country because I'm seeing some pictures, so just stay tuned to the end. FG fully prepares to receive with 3.92 million vaccine on Tuesday. That's today. Okay. Yes, today. So I'm partly excited. I don't know. I'm kind of like in the mix somewhere. Yeah. But let's go straight. So this is some of the earliest picture that's coming out on Twitter, and you can see it says right here, I am here, Nigeria. And you can see some of the people at the airport. I think these are people going to receive it. That's good. So the goal of the federal government of Nigeria is to continue vaccinating people over the period of 2 years. Nigeria is expecting a 3.92 million doses of the AstraZeneca vaccine, and Nigeria is the third country after Ghana and Ivory to get the vaccine. So over the coming months, Nigeria is expecting a 16 million dosage from COVAX, a facility for poor and middle income countries. I'm really wondering, are we really poor? I mean, seriously, we get some big amount that gets stolen, so I don't know, but all good. So I guess this is how the vaccine is gonna be distributed. First, the frontline workers, which are the military, the police, Nigerians at the border, oil and gas workers, and strategic leaders, maybe like ministers or governors. Basically, I think people are always in contact with people. So according to the rollout, which would include, there's going to be a campaign from the traditional campaigns and house-to-house electronic registration, including the online registration, which I have the link and I'm going to put it in my description, so just check this so they can register. Nigeria aim to inoculate 40% of its population this year and 30% more in 2022. As of Monday, it had recorded 155,657 confirmed cases and 1,907 deaths. Wow. Good news, the cure is here. I mean, the vaccine is here. The vaccine, not a cure. So, Nigeria will be receiving the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine, not the Pfizer jab.
The AstraZeneca vaccine works by using an adenoviral vector and has part of the genetic code of the SARS virus within it. What the adenovirus normally causes mild infections like a cold, but in this case, all the genetic code for an adenovirus has been removed and substituted for the code for the SARS virus proteins. So it is taken up into the cells like any other adenovirus infection, and then the proteins which would normally be used to make adenoviral proteins now make the SARS virus protein. This is done by, again, the formation of messenger RNA that is used to bind to the ribosomes to make the amino acids to make the protein. This type of vaccine has been used to make vaccines for things like Ebola, and it has a very good safety record. It is not possible to give you adenovirus because all the adenovirus genetic code has been removed, and that's what's been substituted with part of the SARS coronavirus genetic code.
I'm Professor Andrew Pollard, and I'm Director of the Oxford Vaccine Group and Chief Investigator on the trials of the Oxford vaccine.
I'm Professor Sarah Gilbert of the University of Oxford, and my role is as the developer of a new vaccine against COVID-19.
Well, actually for the past 9 months, the team have been working on the development of a vaccine for coronavirus.
So my team here in the Jenner Institute works on using a particular type of approach to making vaccines, which is very adaptable. And in the past, we've developed vaccines against other viruses such as MERS coronavirus, and that meant that we were in a very good place when it came to needing a vaccine against the SARS coronavirus.
The coronavirus vaccine that we've developed works by inducing both antibodies and T cells, a type of white blood cell, and those are both important in fighting infection.
This vaccine carries in it the genetic instructions to make the protein that's normally found on the surface of the SARS coronavirus protein, but it doesn't contain any of the rest of the SARS coronavirus, just that one protein. And what we do is use another virus to carry that gene into the body and make lots of that protein, the spike protein from the coronavirus, inside the first human cell that it gets into. And that alerts the human immune system to make a strong immune response to the spike protein. We're looking at the vaccine, first of all, in young, healthy people. We didn't see anything untoward there. You get the normal reactions after vaccination, but nothing more than that. So we went on to look at it in older people, and then a further group of older people, and in different populations around the world. We're seeing the kind of response that you get, that you would expect after vaccination. We're not seeing anything that worries us in using this vaccine.
Well, at the moment, what we've been testing in the trials is a 2-dose schedule, because those 2 doses give strong immune responses.
We know when we did clinical trials of the MERS vaccine, which is very, very similar to the coronavirus vaccine that we're working on now, a year after vaccination, people still had strong immune responses to the vaccine that we'd given them, and we only gave those 1 dose. The development process for this vaccine was able to go really quickly because of the type of technology that we're using, and the fact that we'd done something very similar with a vaccine against MERS coronavirus in the last couple of years.
The manufacturing team here in Oxford were able to then actually make a vaccine which was of the quality that could then be given to people. And so we then started in April with the very first human volunteers to receive the vaccine.
In order to go quickly, what we've been doing is overlapping a lot of the processes, and we've also been able to raise the funding much more quickly.
But we haven't cut any corners on the quality or the assessment of the vaccine, or actually the numbers of people the vaccine's being tested in.
The development of this vaccine has gone much more quickly than usual. We're able to do that because we've done so much work on the technology before we even started on this particular vaccine. And so people shouldn't be worried that we're going too quickly. We're being very careful to assess safety at each stage of the vaccine development process. That's always our top priority, and we'll continue to do that.
For those of us developing them, we're scientists. Our job is not to prove the vaccines work, but to find out whether they work and whether they're safe.
Nigeria has trained frontline workers, and we also have a cold storage infrastructure in place to receive the vaccine. Since Nigeria is very hot at this time of the year, I mean seriously, it's hot outside, very hot. So we are being reassured that we are ready to receive the vaccine. We have our cold room ready, and we have frontline health workers ready to start distributing the vaccine to the people. So we have over 12,000 health workers to manage and administer the COVID-19 vaccine that will arrive in Nigeria today. So you do have to register for the vaccine, and the link will be in my bio. And please subscribe to my channel. Do like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks. So on the online form you're going to fill, you have to put in your name, phone number, email address, date of birth, sex, and type of national ID, like your voter's card, or your name, or LASRA, that's another one from Lagos State, something you can use to prove your identity. And you also need to put in your residence address and word of residence, preferred vaccination dates, I mean when you like them to come over to be vaccinated. So I don't wonder, are they gonna come to your homes to vaccinate people? So I guess we'll find out more as the days goes on. So after you're done filling the form, you're going to receive a message saying that registration completed, your vaccination ID. So I do believe you're going to be given a code, so you have to keep that code very well, because maybe you're going to put it into another form. But as the day goes by, we'll learn more how it will be done. Nigerian launch strategy for effective COVID-19 vaccination. So we're going to look at the steps, how they're going to do it, the campaigns, the different ways people can register to get the vaccine, or if you're going to go to local government to have it done. But for now, from what we are getting is that you're gonna have to fill a form. They're gonna have a traditional campaign, then they're gonna be house to house visit, so I still be expecting them. So I think they're also gonna come to your office too, because not everyone's gonna be at home, so I believe they're also gonna visit offices. So this is the step they're going to do it: traditional vaccination campaign rollout, electronic self-registration by eligible Nigerians, assisted electronic registration of eligible Nigerians, concomitant vaccination alongside electronic registration, then house to house electronic registration. In short, they have a acronym which is called TEACH. That's nice. So the federal government on Monday launched the TEACH strategy to ensure the effective rollout of COVID-19 vaccine when they finally arrive. That was Monday, so today. TEACH is an acronym for a 5-point strategy developed by the vaccination implementation arm of the Federal Ministry of Health. Okay. So I guess one of the questions people have been asking is the facility. Does Nigeria have the facility to run the test? And I just saw a nice video on their site, which is right here. You could also go through it on the facilities, on the process, on how they run the test and how they know the different variants, and they can decide, okay, we have the American variant in Nigeria, we have this variant in Nigeria. So it's a very interesting video. I think you should watch it.
We do work in genomics of infectious diseases generally. This institution is 7 years old. We were founded in 2013. We work in very close collaboration with the Nigeria Center for Disease Control. And as such, when the first COVID or the index case of COVID-19 happened in Lagos, NCDC felt, that with the capacity and then the resources available in Escape, that they should send the sample here for further, verification or further confirmation and sequencing. And that's what we did. So we got the sample from NCDC, and within 48 hours, we're able to not only reconfirm, but also sequence the genome. That is, we're able to elucidate the genetic makeup of that virus. So, and that was the first genetic makeup of SARS-CoV-2, not only in Nigeria, but the whole of Africa.
This is our sequencing platform, and this is where we carried out the first index case whole genome sequence for COVID. And this is the machine, which is the MySeq FGX. This is the machine we use to sequence the first genome, the first COVID genome from Nigeria. And basically, we wanted to know like the arrangement of the nucleotides in the sequence in the genome of the COVID, of the SARS-CoV-2 virus. And that was why we carried out this sequencing.
My own area is I use computational tools to understand biological data. So once we got the sequence of the virus, so we then try to understand where or which part of the world was this virus imported from. Was it an importation from the US, from Europe, from China? And we're able to confirm that the sequence of the first case was most related to samples from Italy and other parts of Europe. So that was how we could actually confirm computationally like that it was an importation from Europe and not from the US or China.
Before COVID started, myself and my collaborator at the University of Cambridge were working on a trivalent vaccine for Lassa fever. Lassa fever is endemic in this country. So we're working on a trivalent vaccine. That trivalent vaccine has a monkeypox backbone on which we cloned Ebola and Lassa fever. So which means that this was a vaccine that was going to elicit immune response to 3 different pathogens. And that vaccine was way, way, way advanced when COVID started. And by the way, the vaccine that I'm telling you that we developed is also based on genomic sequences. Because if you don't know the genetic sequence or the genomic sequence of an organism, you cannot develop diagnostics, you cannot develop therapeutics, you cannot develop vaccine. You need to understand what it is. And because we have the ability to sequence the viruses, so we had a large number of viruses that we sequenced in this lab, not elsewhere, here. And we had we have the possibility to look at the landscape of the virus. We knew, and then we have a program, a machine learning system program that helped us to develop the first diagnosis that I told you about, the first vaccine for Lassa fever, that we're able to map the different areas of COVID-19 that could fit into our vector and that can elicit the adequate immune response. So we use our algorithm, and it is a computational based system, computational biology system, identify the areas, and then what we did was to take those and clone them into the same vector that we had for Lassa fever before. But what we did at that point is actually to take out the Lassa fever component, to take out the Ebola component, and then we're left with COVID alone. And because we do not have a BSL-4 facility here, we did not send the samples outside. It's just genetic sequence, identify the areas that could make sense to elicit immune response. We told our colleague in Cambridge, here, this is what we have. Can you put that in the animal model over there? Because we don't have the laboratory, the facility in the country to do that. Can you put that in your animal model and then tell us whether it is protective or not? And that's what they did.
So part of the work we do is working towards making a vaccine for COVID. And the key emphasis here is that we don't want to be a passive player in vaccine production again, in global vaccine production. We want to bring something to the table. We are not owning the entire technology, but we just want to be active and show we are bringing something to the table. So for the COVID vaccine, because of our strength in our sequencing platform strength, so we generate the sequences from Nigeria and also across the continent. So what we did is the collaboration we already have in Cambridge, and they already have a technology that can manufacture vaccine with a quick turnaround, which was done for basically Lassa fever. So when COVID happened, and the technology was moved to COVID. So all we did is that we moved all the sequences we generated here to Cambridge. So they can then use this sequence to generate vaccine that is tailored to the COVID strain that is circulating in Nigeria. So it's no longer you design vaccine and bring it to us. You are using the strain that are circulating here to make this vaccine. And it's been successful in designing this construct. So what is a DNA-based vaccine, and what we've done now is, having provided this sequence, Cambridge using their technology to manufacture this vaccine, and then we run the clinical trial here. I can tell the collaborators, Professor Heaney at University of Cambridge, they already got money to do the phase 1 clinical trial in the UK, which is ongoing now. So our own part now is we are waiting to also get that vaccine to run similar phase 1 clinical trial in Nigeria. And once we get a go-ahead and get good immunogenicity and safety data, we'll then also fast-track it to a phase 2 clinical trial. So the key thing is that we are providing the sequence, we are supporting the technology, and then we also support the clinical trials in Nigeria. Those are our contributions.
Okay, now we're looking at the side effect of the vaccine, and it's just soreness at the site of the injection, mild fever, chills, headache, fatigue, and muscle ache. The advice: if you're taking the vaccine, you may be taking on a Saturday when you're not going to work. So I saw the video from Channel Television when the plane was landing and bringing out the vaccine from the plane. I'll show you the video too. Courtesy Channel Television. Thanks. So for now, that's all the information that I have, and to check my description for the link so that you can register. And please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Just say something. Say, okay, this video is nice. Oh no, this video I don't like it. Just say something. Something nice. Don't say anything bad. I'll fly into you.